So today I'm gonna share with you the most embarrassing mistakes that I made during my first year of day trading. I've been trading for over 9 years right now, and I've been trading more than $100 million in volume. So I have a lot of experience that I can share with you right now. Hey, my name is Marek. I'm an entrepreneur and business owner, and I made a list of the 15 mistakes that I made during my first year of day trading. So let's dive into it right now. So my first mistake was I used too much leverage. In the beginning, I wanted to make a quick buck. I just wanted to be fast. I wanted to grow my balance account so badly, so fast. I didn't have any patience to, slowly put in the trades. And so the quick outcome was for me to use high leverage, because high leverage meant that I could also win more. But it was a big mistake, because instead of winning a lot more, I actually lost a lot more. Mistake number 2, my trade size were too big compared to my balance. Sometimes I would risk 20%, 50% of my whole entire balance just in one trade, which meant that if I lost, that I would lose that whole portion of my balance, meaning it would be much harder to get back up. And I've made that mistake a couple of times. Though I believe that when you start out with a small balance, it is good to use bigger portions of your balance, because you simply are in a position where you can afford to lose more. But once your balance starts building up big, be careful, because you don't want to lose 20% of a 10K or 100K balance just like that. So that's my mistake number 2. Number 3, not prioritizing sleep enough. Or in other words, I didn't took enough rest. Sometimes I would just trade when I was tired, when I was sleepy, and that would affect my trading. And I remember that one time I was not sleeping for almost 48 hours. And even though that was a profitable day, I had to take a couple of days off. I couldn't handle my emotions. I couldn't handle staring at the screen for another 10 or even just 1 hour. So I had to prioritize sleep more often. Number 4, cutting my profits too soon. You all heard the saying probably, like, let your profits run and cut your losses. Well, I did the opposite. I cut my profits too soon, which meant that even if I had a little profit, I would just boom, take my profit and just gaining small profits. But it wasn't enough, because then I would lose a lot. So I couldn't keep up with my winnings when I cut my profits too soon. So I had to really roll my profits. And number 5, I had to cut my losses sooner. I think this is a classic beginner mistake. You see a trade going the wrong direction and you think, it will go back up. If I'm cutting my loss now, it will get back up. It will get back up, right? That's a super common mistakes for day traders. And I made that mistake a lot. I just let my losses run, and then in the end, my losses were so big that I couldn't even keep up, or I would get margin called, or it was just too big of a chunk from my balance, so I had to cut it anyway, and came to the conclusion that this was the wrong trade. Number 6, I focused in the beginning too much on the results instead of making good trades. I found a little hack around that after a while. I would just tape off my profit. If I had a screen and I saw my actual profit at that moment, I would just tape it off with another screen on top of it, just so I couldn't see my profits. Because if I was focused on the profits, I would think oh, maybe I can get it to this amount, or maybe I can get it to that amount. And it ended up, always going the other direction somehow. And I was not focused on making good trades, but just making money. And that was a very, very, very big mistake. Number 7, not having a preset plan or ID where I put my stop loss and take profit just before I enter the trade. See, my trading style was just 10, 5, 15 minutes day trading. It was super fast. Sometimes my trades were just open less than a minute. Always when I entered my positions, when I had my best trades, it was when I determined, okay, I'm entering this trade right now at this price point. I will take a loss if it goes to this point, and I will take a profit no matter what the upside is, right? But sometimes I didn't do that. I didn't set up a plan in my mind. Then I would just let it run. My losses would become bigger and my profits would become so small. So I really had to keep that in mind. Number 8, I had to put alarm systems in place when price moved in a certain direction. I had to place that sooner. It took me a very long time to come to that point where I finally realized that I had to put in alarm systems to save myself a lot of time. During the period when I didn't put any alarm systems in place, I was just staring at the screen constantly. Putting in alarm systems in place, we know when a price moves in a certain direction, allowed me to just relax for the rest of the time until the action came. Number 9, not studying the markets enough. Sometimes I would just jump into a market thinking that I see potential in it, but because I hadn't studied that market enough, I would just get busted out because I didn't know the price action, the price movement of that market. I believe that every market has its own price action, especially when you look in crypto. Bitcoin is different compared to Ethereum, compared to Litecoin. All these coins, they have different ways of moving, even though they move in unison, even though when Bitcoin goes up, usually the other coins goes up as well. But the catch is that individually they behave differently, and I had to study that tremendously in order to understand the market. And when I didn't do that enough, I get busted. Number 10, trying to make up for earlier losses, not taking any loss. This cost me a lot of money. Just the fact that I made a loss trade, I did make a mistake, and then I would just try to make it back. Well, that was a huge mistake because then I'm gonna play with emotions. And when emotions come into trading, we all know that's when the moment when we start losing money. So I made that mistake like a gazillion of times, and it's probably cost me the most. Number 11, doing other things while I was trading. Sometimes there was no action, and then I would watch a movie, I would learn something new about trading. My attention was just scattered. Then when a trade happened, I couldn't turn off the other thing that I was doing. I was like watching video and trading at the same time, or I was calling with someone and trading at the same time. I was doing something else and trading at the same time, and that cost me a lot of money. I had to focus fully on my trades to know that I'm doing well. Number 12, and this is a very interesting one. And before we go to the next one, please give a like and subscribe to this video if this video is valuable to you. So let's dive into number 12, arguing with the market. I don't know how many times I heard myself arguing with the market, like, no, why you go that way? You're supposed to go this way. Like, as if the market cares, right? I would argue all the time with the market. That cost me a lot of money because the market is just the market, right? And I cannot argue with it. So why would I even bother to argue with it, waste my time and energy on that? And it cost me a lot of money. Number 13, not realizing that tomorrow is another opportunity. You know, we as traders, we fall in the trap that we can make it every day, or we set a target that we need to make $100, $200 every day. But sometimes the market is just not there, you know. Sometimes we have a flat market and it's just not there. The opportunities are not there. So tomorrow is another day. But I made that mistake so often that I really wanted to trade. I really wanted to hit my target. And at the same time, I couldn't do it. So I would just put in trades that I shouldn't supposed to make. Number 14, being too impatient and wanting to trade when I should have waited. This lines up with the previous one, but it's another mistake because sometimes I just was too impatient. Like I said, I set my targets and I just wanted to trade and I needed to trade, and I would just put in trades that were costly, that market was flat, and I thought, oh my goodness, the market is gonna break out now. And obviously I had it 5-10 times in a row and it didn't break out. And then when I gave up, then it break out, right? Sometimes I was just too impatient, and it usually came down to me zooming too much into the chart. So I used a lot of technical analysis and chart trading, and I was just always zooming in like 1 minute. That would kill my trading. I had to zoom out. That was my main strategy to get out of that, to zoom out, to go to 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, just to zoom out to see the bigger picture. So last one, number 15, and I think this is the most important one. And if you don't understand this one, you will never understand trading. This is so important that if you miss this one, just don't start trading. So before we go there, If you have any questions, please drop them down below in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. And right now, let's dive into our last one, number 15. Don't be afraid to lose money. I say that again, don't be afraid to lose money. Sometimes I was so afraid to lose my money that I would close my positions too soon, or I would wait for a position to get back up, which never did. I was just too afraid to lose money. And it ties down to, let your profits run and cut your losses. Because if you are too afraid to lose money, you're gonna lose money. It's super weird, but that's how the market works. Most people, they are afraid, and that's why 80% of the people, the traders, lose money, because they're too afraid of their money being lost. So a lot of people ask me, Marek, what is your best trading platform? Well, my best trading platform is by far Binance. And I have a little discount code that you can use when you register for Binance, and I put it right here in the description. And you can get 10% discount off your trading fees. When you trade a lot, that can add up to a big amount. So take your benefit of that coupon code. So use these tips to your advantage. But I think there's another problem, because like I said, 80% of the people lose money while day trading. And so the question might be, can you actually become rich day trading? So I have a video where I share my experience and explain to you if it's really possible to becoming rich trading cryptocurrencies. So I'll link this video right here now. You can go there and click there, and then I'll see you there. Thank you for watching, and God bless.